I thought it was just dinner, but dinner turned into a deal I couldn't escape. My name is Anora Vos. I want to share the story of how the glamorous surface of escort work pulled me in, and how behind the pretty dresses and expensive dinners, I found myself trapped in a cage I didn't choose. I was 19, living in New York, studying media and communications. Money was always tight. After my parents' divorce, my mom carried everything on her shoulders, but even with her job, we barely stayed afloat. I dreamed of independence, of the kind of life I saw on Instagram: designer bags, rooftop dinners, weekend trips to Miami. But my reality was a secondhand laptop and cheap coffee to get through late-night study sessions. One day, a friend invited me to what she called just a dinner. She laughed when I hesitated. "Don't worry, it's not what you think. You just sit there, look pretty, talk a little, and you walk away with money." I remember saying, "People actually pay for that?" She just smiled. "You have no idea how much." That night, I borrowed a dress and slipped into heels that pinched my feet. The restaurant looked like something out of a movie. Crystal glasses, soft candlelight, men in tailored suits. One of them looked at me in a way that made me feel less like a person, more like an accessory. I tried to talk about movies, books, the city. He smiled, nodded, but in his eyes, there was something else. Ownership. When the evening ended, he handed me an envelope. "You're sweet. I hope we see each other again." Inside was more money than I could make in a month at any regular job. My hands trembled. I told myself it was just dinner, nothing more. But deep down, I knew. This was the first step into a world that doesn't let you walk away so easily. Beautiful dresses and expensive restaurants, but behind them was a darkness nobody talked about. The next months felt like living two lives. By day, I was the student who drank coffee in the library and rushed to finish assignments. By night, I was the girl in a borrowed gown, sliding into cars with strangers, smiling across dinner tables with men twice my age. On the surface, it looked glamorous. 5-star hotels, champagne, gifts, invitations to private parties. But the deeper I went, the clearer it became. This wasn't about beauty. It was about power. These men weren't paying for conversation. They were paying for the feeling that they owned you. We, the girls, joked with each other to mask the fear. Who did you get tonight? The boring banker or the silent creep? Our laughter was nervous. Every girl had a story, some running from debt, some from broken homes, some chasing fast money. But under it all, we all felt the same thing, like products on a shelf. I remember one night, a man grabbed my wrist too tightly. He smiled wide, but his fingers left bruises. "You're mine tonight. Don't forget it," he said. That's when I realized, in this world, rules didn't exist. There was only price. I smiled in the photos, but inside I was screaming, "Somebody save me." The agency stopped asking me what I wanted. They told me where to go, who to meet, what to wear. "Special client tonight. Be nice," they'd say. And if I hesitated, "You can always quit, but don't expect another chance." Don't expect money. It was a cage, polished and pretty, but still a cage. I'd come home, take off my makeup, and stare at the mirror. The reflection looked perfect, Instagram ready, but the eyes gave me away. I smiled in photos so friends would believe I was living the dream. But inside, I was breaking. One night changed everything. The man I was sent to meet was drunk. His hands were rough, his words sharp and demeaning. I felt like an object passed from hand to hand. When it was over, I stood under the shower for hours, hoping the water would wash it away. But it didn't. That was the night I realized no amount of money could ever buy back the pieces of myself I was losing. That night, I realized, if I don't leave now, I'll never leave. I packed my things and texted the agency that I was done. Their reply was cold. "You'll regret this." Nobody leaves like that. Fear settled in me. I waited for the threats, the blackmail, the revenge. But days passed, and nothing happened. I walked away from the game, but the scars followed me. Nights were sleepless, filled with flashbacks. I'd wake up in panic, hearing echoes of voices saying, "You're mine." I'm telling this story not for pity, but for warning. Too many girls see escort work as an easy road to a glamorous life. They see the photos, the dresses, the smiles. They don't see the price. And the price is higher than they imagine. Escort gave me pretty pictures, but it stole parts of my soul. And if I could go back to that very first night when I thought it was just dinner, I would tell myself, walk away. This isn't the road to freedom, it's the road to a cage.